What's cracking, peeps? Here we are, Sunday session, just getting set up, middle of a working Sunday. You know how it is, me and Muzz are busy. There's the lean-in again, adjusting the cord. Told you, lean-ins. Today, more on mental health, so might as well get buckled in. I'll just get comfy. Right. Get comfy, because we're gonna talk about some shit today. And it may trigger some people. I'm going to give some examples of places I've been in my life. And if you find you're in one of these places in your life, then at the end of the video, we're going to share the steps on, one, how I've changed it, two, the opportunity that Muzz and I both use to upgrade our shit. All right? So this is how it is. We're dinkum today. And we're just waiting for Muzz to get on. We'll see how his internet's going. So Muzz is going to lead again today in the discussion of gender roles and stuff like that. So welcome to the Sunday session. And this is how it is. And Muzz is here, and we're going to click the buttons like that. That should be adding Murray. Let's see how Westnet's going today. We've got Elon sorted here. So here's Murray.
G'day, how are we?
Great. So I've given a bit of an intro, bit of an alpha intro, suggesting what we're going to talk about may trigger some people, and certainly examples that I'm going to share. Lots of men in this group may have found themselves in that position, and I've said that we are going to share our solution at the end. So I'll just make sure I'll get the camera in the right spot. Got to have the tripod in the right spot so it doesn't hit the volume button. But I did say that Murray's going to go first in the discussion of gender roles and masculinity and things like that. So if you want to share a bit about yourself and where you are in your life, where you think your gender role is, and then I might even try and trigger you and ask you some questions to get some answers, to get the men thinking, you know. And then when it's my turn to share, feel free to ask me questions, and I can explain mind spaces within that. So here's the floor for you, Murray. Lead us away, mate.
Right, thanks, Stuart. Look, it's interesting. You know, we've been talking about gender roles and things, or our roles in life, and what it means for each person. So, I mean, I'm a single male in my early 30s. I suppose I'd never really given it much thought. So this is interesting, and I've been giving it thought all morning. But my role in society, for example, I think at this stage in life is to contribute what I can, as best I can to society through my labours. Whether, I mean, you know, obviously working with my family on the station now, providing beef to the world, but also in the community, just putting another strong back into work where I can, maybe. Not that it's been the strongest of backs lately, but look, I don't think it's much more than that, really. You know, I don't think it gets much. You know, I don't think it needs to be any more complicated than that. That's what I am. That's who I am, and trying to lead the best example I can where I can.
Yeah, right. So I've got a question for you right here. So if that's the physical place you see yourself in society, how does that make you feel? And how does that affect your daily mindset as far as tasks you are going to complete?
That's a good question. And I think, how does it make me feel? Look, it makes me feel that I've got to do the best I can to try and support people. So maybe there is a bit of pressure there. which I'd never really considered before. But trying to be the best person I can be day in, day out, by living by my morals, no, but supporting what I believe in and trying to stick to what I what I believe in and what I believe is right. So how does it make me feel? Good. And especially as I've gotten older, I'm proud of who I am, where I've gotten to in life. And I'm probably learning more and more about standing by what I believe in, for better or worse, and trying to improve myself more and more, becoming a better version of myself all the time, which, we've talked about a lot in this group, on my own personal pages. With all that waffling, the simple answer is pride.
I'll chuck another question in there to make you think a bit more. So you're talking about improving yourself. So in the mindset stance, when you get up in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror, are you happy with what you see? And then that makes you go, I take this step, this step, this step, and I go do my day. And I'm making steps to be a better person. So, are you doing something to change what you see? Are you doing something in your personal development, mindset, reading a book, listening to a podcast, to change your frame of mind, to change to a person which is the best version of yourself? Sort of an open-ended question, but so what are you like? Where are you today, and what are you doing to be the best version of yourself?
That's another good question, and unfortunately, my days aren't consistent in what makes me a better man or better person, I should say. But let's say an ideal in MurrayJPens' world is get up in the morning, have a look in the mirror, and acknowledging myself and going, "You're you. This is who I am. Let's kick ass." And that stepping on the scales, keeping on my weight, that's keeping me accountable for my fitness and where I'm at in my life. Seeing what my I achieved yesterday and trying to improve on that today.
Do you write that down? Do you like to do like a tick list or a job recount to go, I completed that, but this is what I've got to do today?
I try to. Oh, is this for me, for my personal well-being, or is this for my job list
I'm
for today?
asking you personally, because if we dig in on your situation, then you get to develop, and then other people can learn from that situation. And then when I start gobbing off about the ebbs and flows, and there's a massive story up here of mindset shifts and stuff like that, and I've got examples of local community guys that reflect on places that I've been, then feel free to grill those questions so we can discover the inner strength. But do you do every day a tick list, or do you journal what I did yesterday or what my intentions are to do today, and can you tick that off as a form of minor successes that you work yourself through?
No.
No? Don't have a calendar on your phone?
But I've got a calendar on my phone. So what I do, Stuart, is you hit a point with the calendar. So you might see behind me, it's empty at the moment because I must admit I haven't been feeling the best lately. But that is my plan because I'm a very physical person. The phone is wonderful. The phone calendar is wonderful for setting a record of my day-to-day stuff. Righto, we've processed X amount of cattle. We have had X amount of rain. We've fixed this windmill, etc. So there's a digital record system there.
Yep. And
then got that for my job list. For me personally, though, what it comes to as far as a tick list is I've got an acronym kind of word thing that I developed with my health coach. SWEMPT. And it's easy for me to remember. So SWEMPT. It breaks down to sleep, water, exercise, meditation, pills, and time. So for me, that's one thing that I want to try and get consistent in my life. Sleep, 8 hours minimum. Water, minimum 2 litres. Obviously, I'm trying to achieve 4, but if I can get 2 litres when I'm, especially in this cooler weather, I must admit I'm struggling to get 4 litres. But if I can get 2, I know that it's enough to keep me trucking. Yep. Exercise, a good half hour every day. That's a consistent. Meditation, taking time to be mindful, doing breathing exercises. Pills, I've got my antidepressants, gout pills, whatever else I'm taking at the time, every day. And time for myself, whether that's just, reading a book of some sort throughout the day or listen to a podcast, either for personal enjoyment, obviously, but also to develop myself. So this is time for me, where, again, that's either in the morning having a cup of coffee, or at night before I go to sleep, just taking time to just have a breath and kick back. So that's what I do. I'm mindful of that every day. SWEMPT.
Yep. That's a really, like, for anyone that's watching this on YouTube and stuff, rewind the video, re-listen to that, because that is a great tip. Like, that's like, good on you, Muzz, because that's similar to something I do. I use my phone. I'm a very digital type guy. But
yep.
You've shared a part of your life which is really key to getting the best version of yourself. And that sort of tool can fit anyone's life. That acronym, perfect. Lots of people can use that in their life. And I think that's, congratulations, top share. That's like dropping bombs. Like, listen to a few Brad Lee podcasts and stuff. He drops bombs. Insert bomb noise there, people. I just can't emphasize how good a tip that is. If you're starting from nothing to do something like that and then create a system and you've got momentum, and that's absolutely great. Mind blown.
And thanks, Stuart. I mean, look, I'm glad you reckon that's a bit of a bomb. I mean, I take my hat off to you, because you're kicking goals with the stuff that you do every day. The way you're pushing yourself. But the way I am at the moment, and I think, like you're saying, for anyone watching, consistency in anything you do is key. And if you can be consistent in what you do, you can eventually consistently build after that. And water on a stone. Eventually, will wear the bastard away. So,
So you are who you are today, and that's you're on a journey to be the best version of yourself. Where was your start point before you come up with that acronym, and where were you mentally, physically and mentally? Where was your start point to go, all right, I'm triggered to do, I need to change, I need to do this. This is what I'm going to do. We're going to find a solution. This is what we're going to do. What, was it a year, 2 years ago before you come up with this acronym? And
it's been.
Where were you mentally and physically?
Let's say it must be now. So 23. It must have been 21. This all sort of started about this time of year. At that point, and that's I'll lead into a lot of it, but and try and keep it pretty sweet and short. But I had a pretty significant bump in life where I thought I met the woman of my dreams. Look, all these good stories start with a woman, for better or worse. And I thought this was the one. And when things didn't work out, it absolutely broke me. And And I hate to sound cliche in that fact, but that was probably the first woman I'd met in my life who I could really say that I loved. Didn't work, that's history. But what it did lead to was a realization of a lot of things in me, in my life, and probably a lot of more questions than I could really handle. So eventually it sort of led to a bit of a burnout because I had been sort of, working pretty hardly up to that point. I'd also, I've been doing a lot of study for my pilot's license. So at that point, I was on my arse a lot, reading books and studying, and in the plane flying, gained a huge amount of weight, huge for me. And it got to the point where I needed help. And I mean, I've seen psychologists and that and counsellors, whatever, gotten help. But eventually I wanted to try something else. So I saw a friend of mine, a lady called Tegan Lee Doolin, who's a health personal coach. She's absolutely mint and helped me learn a bit more about myself and basically getting to the crux of what does Murray need. And look, it's not like psychologists hadn't done this before and got me to that point. There was something in the way that Tegan got the point across and made it a bit more holistic. Comes to mind, but that's not right. But it's a bit more. It clicked. It resonated. So it got my ass in the gear to go, righto, that's it. This is what you got to do, Muzz, to live, to survive, and to push forward. And so, and I confess at that time that I was having trouble being, I wasn't drinking enough water. I wasn't doing this, wasn't doing that. Especially with my medication. I mean, for those of you who do take antidepressants, you know what it's like when you slip behind. If you're, 2-3 days missing that medication, it just messes with your head. It really, really does. And so with that, it didn't help my lows getting even lower, pushing me back to bed. And when I was burnt out, I was camped out in bed for days, and the world was pretty bleak and dark. So with Tegan, we developed, she said, you need your basics, you need your sleep, you need your exercise, you need your basic water and nutrition.
Yep. And
eventually, being on my own as I usually am, I sort of got to thinking, well, and made this thing up so I could remember that. So yeah, that's a couple of years ago, and now a lot of my questions I've answered or have not. I might not have answered the questions, but I've just crossed them off the list essentially, and just made peace with the fact that they're not going to be answered. That they don't even need to be questions at all. Things like what makes me worthy, what makes me who I am. That doesn't matter.
But
what matters is who I am.
That is purely mindset stuff. And you've done work on that. It's not to say that we don't think, like, understanding as men our self-worth. Like I discussed last week, and we talked about what is unconditional love, and men seem to get conditional love by what we can provide or protect. Mm-hmm. So our worth and the love we are given tends to be measured by that. And I think you've shared that trigger point that a woman found you not worthy, which caused you to go to a dark place. And lots of us do that because emotional pain is a valid scientific pain. And when you look at there is brain muscles in the heart that actually remember that pain. They've scientifically proven it. So a broken heart is a real thing. Believe me, I've got one that's shattered to pieces. Yes. So actually putting enough back together to share to another person, even my children, was a huge journey. So you've shared, you went to a dark place. You were triggered by one of the 4 Ds that people change. It's death, disaster, divorce, or disability or something like that. I said it on a Wednesday Wisdom a couple of months back, but that's one of those 4 days that triggers change. So you were triggered by a sense of a divorce of relationship, which triggered you to have a look at yourself and understand your worth. You might have crossed that off the list because you believe you are worthy. So that's not even a question, which is why you've crossed it off the list. Is that right? Yeah.
Essentially, I mean, and gotten to the point now, I sort of knew what the answer was years ago, but now I've fully realised the fact that your self-worth, well, it's that, it's self, it's you. It all comes from you. You've got to bloody establish and stand on your own 2 feet and not rely on someone else to establish that worth for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that
we
all. Yeah, thank you. But it's a hard thing because as a community of animals that we are, we have such a herd mentality that we bleat after each other, needing each other's support and that, thinking we do, but we bloody don't. And we need to, such an expert here, but I believe that we should try to stand on our own 2 feet to then better the herd. Because if we can stand on our own to help us support the rest,
but
I think that's a huge power.
Hit the nail on the head right there. That's a perfect analogy for personal development. And it doesn't matter which influencer we watch. I mean, I come across a bit of Tate content on my feed and things like that. So there's that sort of masculine influence. And the message behind most of these guys, whether it be Alex Hormozy or Bradley or Grant Cardone, they haven't got successful by relying on other people. They did a lot of work themselves and still do a lot of work on themselves to be that pack leader.
Absolutely.
Basically, to lead the herd,
Definitely.
like you said. And then, that's a great analogy for that. Leading the pack's a great little segue to something I want to share with you guys. So, at the footy club, it's a big part of my life. There's a little section over here that's footy club stuff. But there's doing the tackle your feelings thing showed me that a lot more guys don't think about what they need to think about as far as positions in the club. And we did an exercise at that night about whether you're thriving, coping, or in a shit spot. Because at different points in your playing career, you can be in different spots. And footy's a great world to sort of use that as a balance point. So one thing, if I go back to, there's a little trophy over there, 2006 most consistent. What happened in 2005 is I was co-captain in a B grade grand final. We kicked ass because there was more than 50 blokes in that club that year. We won both grand finals that year, A and B. So as a team mindset and, you're training, you're doing all the right things to be the winners on the day. So in that moment, and I know in that moment as a captain, I thought I was untouchable. I was got to a bit of, in a bit of A grade, on that edge of being top of the Bs or in the top 5 of the B grade to cracking into the A grade. So playing career, I'm bettering myself and looking up. So you feel, untouchable, super powerful. You want to take on the whole world. Physically, you run around the footy field, you're doing stuff like that. So you're feeling great. And there's a young bloke just over here who's in that same position at the moment. He's in his early 20s type thing. He's co-captain of the B grade. We're setting up a really great footy year. And I put it in the footy chats. I said, I intend to get on this footy trip plane as a grand final winner at the end of the year. So, sharing my intention with these guys, trying to force that mindset into them to go, we're not taking no for an answer. The A grade will go 3 in a row. and the B grade will get one back. And we've been a long time between drinks on that one. But to have that, you know, that young bloke is in that thriving mindset. So he's playing great footy, co-captain of the B grade, just living life full pumped up, and having beers, chasing the ladies, full top G moves, for lack of a better description, right? You can't stop him. Don't get in his way. You can't stop him. You know,
that's cool.
Perfect young fella for other young fellas to go, he's doing something right, I should do that. You know, that's a great bloke to follow. On the complete polar opposite end of the spectrum, there's two dads in town that have triggered me. Like, even when I look at them, I go, dude, you can be so much better. So one of these dads, he played his first game of footy a couple of weeks ago. I had a bit of a chat to him. So he's a stay-at-home dad. So, you know, we talk about different gender roles. You're a young single bloke kicking ass up there. You've gone through a journey and you're conquering the world up there. We've got top G over here who's kicking ass at footy, living life to his fullest potential. You blokes are awesome, right? Models of society. Then we've got this bloke who wants to be a stay-at-home dad because he reckons that it's better for him to stay at home and look after the primary school age kid, and his wife earns more. She's trucker, right? So good on her. She's driving truck.
Yep.
Absolute conqueror. Believe me, I wouldn't argue with her. But for his mindset, is that really a masculine mindset? Like, at points in my life, when I moved to Perth and then got told I wasn't worthy, then shifted to go, like you've shifted your whole life, had it thrown in your face, told you're not worthy. So then you go to dark places. But then I would still go to work and then go over to the house to look after the kids, to do quality parenting time with the kids, to still be not worthy in her eyes, right? So that was her opinion, which was then dictating my life. So that put me in a really shit mindset. But does that bloke just need to have a couple of beers and go, hey, she works, you can work too, right? There's nothing wrong with you doing a bit of work. You can still be there for the kid, right? It all works. Are you being the best version of yourself sitting at home doing dishes, watching midday movies? I don't know what he does, right? But that sort of brings me to the version of this other dad that used to come work out here with us. He's got 4 kids and a girlfriend, and his life's pretty intense. Like, some of his kids are as bouncy and energetic as young Jack. He's just got 2 of them. He's probably got 4 kids with that much energy, right? But every time I go over to his house and I knock on his door to go, how you going? Or, helping pick up his kids or dropping off or talking work stuff or whatever. I knock on the door, the kids answer the door, Dad's on the Xbox. Now, I understand that I'm a gamer, right? So I still played, Friday night I played my couple of hours of Fortnite and stuff like that. And I helped Jack play his games. So we share that time. But I don't hide from my feminine, masculine duties behind that Xbox.
No.
I'm present for my kids. So if you knock on my door, I answer the door. Not young fella. It's my house. I protect it. I provide for it. I answer the door. So there's another mindset you've got. One dad who doesn't want to work, stays at home, looks after a kid. You've got a dad who sort of works between school hours, but goes home and hides on the Xbox and it's probably not super present in his kid's life. He's got enough kids.
No.
Like, you've had kids, you've got a responsibility to support them, play with them, take them to sports, stuff like that. Like, you've got to man the fuck up. You can't hide behind.
Be a role model.
So they're 2 guys that are really triggering me at the moment. Like, there's so much potential that, and probably the key in that discussion is that the kids are missing out on something. You know, it's the kids that are going to suffer from this, either just from the example. So we talk about generational trauma on what they see is what they're going to do. So one of my toxic traits is working on the farm heaps, because that's what Dad did, right? Shit needs doing. We know that, and I, you know, I have a greater conversation with my young fella, so we get to understand why, but then I make sure that I am present in his life. I understand what games he's playing. I get involved with some of the games he's playing. I'm listening to him on school pickup. I'm having to be there, not just physically, emotionally. You have to be there for the kids. Three bit years ago, before I started this online business and really started to challenge my personal growth, I was forced into a position like Xbox guy, right? I would put the kids on the bus, go do some farm work, pick the kids up off the bus, and go home, do stuff, and I'd end up just scrolling my phone. It's like the Xbox, just ignoring the kids, not present. I'm scrolling my phone. So the mindset in there was a lot of self-hatred and anger at I couldn't do more. So I was a bit like I didn't want to do more. The world could get fucked, as far as I was concerned, and that was not a good example for the kids.
No.
Yeah, because what are the kids going to do when they become parents? They pick the kids up off the school bus, go home, unpack lunchbox, sit on the phone, get up, cook dinner, sit on the phone, watch a bit of TV, maybe put some go.
I've just got to help back you up there, Stuart, with what you're saying. There's a really talk about scrolling on Facebook, but there was the thing I come across the other day, and a person was commenting on the way, you know, the young dad with his kid, I can't remember, boy or girl, what it was, but this kid's reading the book, and this person goes to the parent, goes, that's amazing, how you get this kid, you know, all of 5, 6 years old, reading the book, you know, and the parent goes, kids ape what you do. So at home, I'm reading a book as well.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Yep.
So anyway, I just wanted to put that in there, mate.
No,
back to you.
That's exactly right. And it's one of my personal development triggers is I get checks. Like, he's the greatest mirror of where I'm at the moment. So if I'm doing too much phone stuff and stuff like that and not doing housework and stuff, he's not tidying up. He just wants to play Xbox. He's just mirroring what I'm doing. So then I go, all right, guess what? I need to change my shit. I need to lift my game. Yeah. If I want him to lift his game, I've got to lead. So I've got to do it first. And that's one of my management tools of personal point. So, and one of that, so the biggest shift was at the start of this year, right? So as the current parent I am now, the working parent, working hard and stuff like that. And I would get up in the mirror because I'm thinking of, I've not wanted a relationship for a couple of years now. All right. So this is, you know, personal stuff. I've just gone, I'm not even going to put the effort in. I don't want any more drama in my life than what I've got. I've got stuff that needs to be sorted. He's got to see doctors. I've got farm work to do. There's enough going on. Do I need to add to that? So I'm just not looking. But at the start of this year, I've gone, well, maybe I'm not looking, but if I was trying to get in the female mindset, would I take what I'm offering? And, you know, look at myself in the mirror and I go, I'm not doing a very good sales pitch here. Like what I was, right? As I said, it's not a very good sales pitch, right? Dad bod, balding, messy house. What it's like, that's not exactly a winning scenario, right?
Yeah.
Not walking around with a suit, flicking hundreds out, stuff like that. That's just like, yeah. So I worked out, all right, if I want to find another girlfriend / wife, what am I offering? So then I go, all right, what do I think they want? The old discussion, they go, to find your husband or wife, what would you want them to be doing if they weren't with you? And then go do that. Right? So that's one way to find an aligned partner. But then if I'm going to do something that they're doing, like I've got a busy enough life. If I'm going to do something that they're doing, what am I presenting? What's my sales pitch? I really triggered myself this summer when I was flicking around chemical drums and whatever. I'm going, pick up this 10-litre chemical drum and I go, I'm going, that's 10 litres. It's 10 kilos. It's not that heavy. Like, how much of a pussy did I feel like not being able to lift around 10 kilos? So I went, that's it. I said, that's not alpha dad. That's not farm strong. That's nothing. That's shit. Get off your ass and change your life. So that's why I started the fitness routine. I said, if I'm going to change what I'm selling, so what I'm selling now is better than what I was selling 6 months ago. What I'm going to be selling by Christmas time, 50 white beard, buff old Santa Claus, I'm selling that one. I won't be 50, but when I'm 50, there's a mental image for people to look at. I'll be big white beard, maybe, but I'll have rippling muscles and stuff like that because I'll have worked on myself, and I'll have the mental state to go, this is what I provide. This is what, I will protect you. I can protect you. You can see that. So that's the mindset I'm at the moment. You want to ask a question? Go for it.
Stuart, and in the background, guys, Stuart and I have been talking about showing up to work as the best version of yourself, for yourself, for starters, anyway. And I've got to say right now, today, Stuart is showing up as his best version of himself already. Like, since, Stuart and I have been working in this group for damn near 18 months now. Stuart, you look really smart today. And I don't care what anybody else thinks about me saying that, but, you're not wearing your high vis. Today you're coming in Sunday session with a good, clean, bright shirt. So to me, you're an alpha. You look like a leader. You look like a man about town, about business through that. So already you're showing respect for yourself. And that, to me, is a huge sales pitch on its own.
Yeah. And that's right.
So not a question, it's just a comment.
Yeah, no, and thank you for sharing that. And I think that's the greatest, when you're looking at your own personal development, if you don't respect yourself, how are you going to expect anyone else to respect you? Presentation, like wearing a shirt. We've talked about before about dressing nice, and my big mission at the moment, and I'm feeling it. I'll be straight up honest here. My arms are sore. My chest is sore. I put more weight on those dumbbells this week, and I'm going the next level. I'm not staying where I am. I'm going constantly leveling up, which is why I have this image of me by Christmas, and then after that, and after that, and after that, I've got this image of what I want myself to look like that I'm going after, because then that image shows outside what I feel like inside. So then other people see that.
Boom.
And I'm listening to a few podcasts, and they talk about the power of someone walking into a room, how you sit. So, example, I don't know if I can do this size, right? So, sitting up, you got your chest out a bit. It's hard to see with the beard, right? Chest out a bit, and that's powerful, right?
Yeah.
Wait for the 2 degrees. When do I lose my power?
Yeah.
Leant forward that little bit, not powerful anymore, right? So the old thing is like walk around town with your chest up, head up, get your power. If you walk into a room like that, how many people, and it didn't come to a realization until this week, when I was shearing back in my early 20s, and you'd open the pub door and you walk in, does everyone turn around and look at you? Or does everyone not? Does a couple of people look or whatever? That's a energy power exchange right there. So if you want to talk about alpha beta stuff, an alpha opens the door, doesn't have to look at anyone else, goes and does his thing, go to the restaurant, beer, whatever. And then people turn to look. That's a universal energy shift. Like, it's a fully subconscious act, right? People don't actively do that. That's something that you look around in life, and something I employ everyone to explore this week is to look around at places they go. Who are other people? How are other people sitting? How are other people? What happens when someone else walks in the room? Do you look? Does someone else look? Does someone else's posture change because that person walked into a room? And this is subconscious behavior for alpha beta mentality and unlocking our power to be the best version of ourselves. So, in a certain room, if you go into, so if I go into a AGM or a committee meeting at the footy club, I'm 43, nearly 43. I'm an experienced player. I've also got a lot of experience in business and stuff like that. So to walk in that room, I'm a chest up and I don't have to look at anyone else because I know shit. I know shit, and they know I know shit, right? So that's a wise old man alpha position where if I then go to, I don't know, I'm just trying to be alpha my whole life now. So I don't know where I go to be submissive. Probably in our men's chat on Tuesdays, right? So I'm probably not the most powerful energy in that Zoom chat by a long shot. There's guys there that are far more personally developed in their mindset and lives, that they have this whole energy that I have no control over. So I'm certainly not an alpha in that chat. That's probably the one place.
Stuart,
that's where I've got to do more growth.
Do you feel yourself? This is interesting. I mean, this talk of alpha beta mentality is intriguing to me. So, I mean, as you know, I haven't been in the group for a little while, but when you're interacting with people within the men's group, do you feel yourself becoming submissive, or are you still Stewie P. Graham alpha in his world, putting his foot forward?
I'm mentally aware of that. I am being empathetic, for lack of a better word, is that space is not a space for me to be full alpha and dominate the conversation, the energy, or anything. It's a shared space, so we are all, to a degree, on that call, open and semi-submissive. But when I'm speaking, when it's my turn to say something, I do the sit up and speak. So I'll speak my truth and speak my alpha if it helps someone else. Otherwise, sit back and shut my mouth because I got nothing constructive to say. Like that's the thing. Probably I didn't start like that because of the fear of other successful people. Like,
yeah, I can relate.
You're working with these big guns here. Like, we're working with the top dogs there. We're not playing with the small fish. This isn't, probably our farm fence is we are the leaders, and that's a certain level. And then, but we get to work with these guys who are the next level and the next level. So, you know, the alpha beta thing in a personal growth sector becomes almost null and void. Yeah, but outside of that group, I try and project, certainly to my kids, good discipline and health and mindset like that. Do my work every day. Young fella sees it. So to display that is that's me doing me for that 15, 20 minutes a morning. You know, that showers. I haven't done it today, but I did it yesterday. It was fucking cold yesterday. But
I bet.
yeah. So some of those mornings, that cold water is bloody cold, right?
Yeah.
But I don't do it because I like it. I'll give you the tip. I don't like it, but I know that it is going to improve me. Those actions are going to improve me to where I'm going to be. And that process is the alpha to share that.
And that's where I'm intrigued about what you're saying, you know, about your position, say, again, with the men's group. And I'm going to disagree with you a little bit because I don't think you're submissive at all. I think it's a matter of being respectful within that group, that it's a time to just sit down and listen to other people's output and recognising what you need to do to make the most of it, especially like your cold hot showers. You know, all through the year, one of those temperatures is going to be very bloody uncomfortable, but you're doing it for the disciplinary factor to improve yourself. And there's something I think we could all benefit from here is recognising that discipline. And in these groups, the men's chat thing that Stuart and I are talking about here can be the light from that can be shone into something else. What I'm trying to say, any AGM, any meeting you go to, you're going to find a lot of bloody Indians there trying to be top dog. Instead of being respectful enough to sit down, shut the fuck up and listen to what someone else has got to say.
Yep.
That, again, comes down to being alpha within yourself enough to say, hey, this is your time. I want to hear what you've got to say.
Yep. And I think that's a great point. And that's part of our chats that we share here is that, that to be alpha, top dog, whatever, you understand your position in a pack. Not every pack is the same. But you don't get to be top dog unless you there's work there. There's probably a bigger structure is life is full of pain. It's the pain you choose to deal with gets you to a different position in life. If you choose to take the comfortable road, you will not be an alpha. Quite simple. And like David Goggins says it on one of his things is perfect. So this guy asked him, he goes, what do you do on that morning when it's raining outside and it's cold outside and it's warm in bed, and the missus just said, just stay in bed for a couple more and stuff like that. And he goes, keep talking.
That's pretty hard to leave.
And it's just nice and breakfast. He goes, yep. Because when people are doing that, I'm out running. I'm out doing more. I'm doing push-ups, doing pull-ups. That's why he's just a fucking great bloke, right? Yeah. But that's his mindset, and that's one of the reasons why the discipline that I'm doing in the morning is like top G up the corner here. He's under 25 or whatever. He's having a great time now. But if he doesn't start the journey now or soon, he's going to end up in the same place that we all end up at nearly 40 or nearly 30 or whatever. You understand that your physicality and your health starts to go this way. So you have to do more to go this way. And it's just the work. If you don't do the work, you eventually just go, oh, hang on, I'm now at the bottom of the pack. And we did an exercise at the tackle, the thing where it was talking about a player that had fallen off the top of the pack, was having a bad couple of games, bad kicks, didn't fit, wasn't active in the chats, and sort of doing extra training but not really hanging around for the beers after. And so he's sort of, well, where is that bloke's mindset? And that whole story, I went, holy shit, I've lived that. I actually lived that scenario. And it I went, phew. But on the Tuesday night, that space was not a space to share my level of development, which is what I said to the guys after, not the footy guys, the people that were there. I said, I shared with them. I said, look, I've done more work on this. I didn't think it was a safe space for a slightly more advanced person to be going deep on the feelings in a place full of beginners, because then it can seem overwhelming, and we don't want to create an overwhelmed state in a place of mental health. So for other guys to start their journeys and understand that they need to start a journey, you have to understand, like in the AGM or in the group chat, understanding the place to listen, when to share and when not to share. So that, it's more personal growth. The more we do, the better the world will be. Like you shared with your place, where you're creating the best version of yourself, so then you can help others. And that is the greatest thing as blokes that we can do in the world. Simple. If everyone thought like us, bang, the world will be a better place, because we're all doing stuff to make ourselves better so we can make the world better. Simple. That's probably the biggest takeaway that people can get from this chat today.
I'm hoping so. As you said, mate, I mean, as we discussed before, we're looking at a solution to try and make people step up. And this is one of the things I think that you've talked about, hit the nail on the head. You've done it. It's a matter for people to look at themselves to see what is their best version for themselves. Everyone's got to recognise it. It's no good at looking at myself or looking at Stuart and going, oh, well, we're going to do what they're doing to be, the better versions of ourselves. No, this is what we're doing. Sure, try what we're doing. I'm not saying that, not to, but what am I saying here, Stuart? I'm trying to say.
So everyone's own personal journey. So Murray does his things his way, and I do things my way. We each have our journey. I've learnt my things off other people's journeys. Aspects of my thing for me are created off other people's journeys. So watch, listen to our journeys, listen to our advice, the influence of people in your life to create your growth journey. So my current podcast list, we've got, Alex Muzz, great business guy, dropping business content on his thing, but he shared in part of his story, before he got successful, he was at rock bottom. He actually told his girlfriend to leave him, and she grabbed him, looked him in the eye and gone, I don't care if we're sleeping under a bridge, I'm with you. That's a ride or die type scenario. That's, so any women listening on YouTube, that's the standard, all right? I'm not accepting any less. But, as far as that personal growth that he did, he went to a really dark place when he shared that with his girlfriend. And she said, nah, I'm here, I'm staying. Yeah. So, and then he's 500 odd episodes of podcast from there. So there's so much growth business stuff to listen to. The same as Andrew Huberman, absolute mindset genius. Who else am I listening to? Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, another mindset guru. You know, and I know people think Andrew Tate is a toxic person. If you watch enough content and find the message and don't listen so much to the misconstrued words that certain media puts on, it actually doesn't seem like a bad bloke. Like the message is right. Be strong so you can fight if you need to fight and protect who you need to protect. Have a small tribe that have got your back. Ride or die scenario. Simple. Life. That's how winners are doing it. Yeah? So I know there's a lot of teams in this online space that there's a lot of power couples that are killing it. That's
absolutely.
You know, there's a sense in it, which makes it slightly more challenging for us single people, where there's male and female singularities in this business, but the real growth comes from power couples because they get to bounce off each other and work together and stuff like that. It's energy exchange. So so probably brings us down to, we've shared some of our solutions, but what was the original solution that brought us together? Do you want to answer that, Muzz?
If we're talking about the online business, I mean, that's our solution. And, you know, I'm as you know, I've stepped away for a moment trying to regather, you know, a bit of my own personal power back, I suppose, if I'm going to get deep into it.
Yep.
But I know from Stuart's perspective, where he's stuck at it, like he's just worked within that groove and deepened his groove to use the online space to build his power. And I think that's, you know, and that's where it's awesome for people. How about we go, like, looking at the gentleman you're talking about at the start, these not single dads, but these stay-at-home dads. That would be a fantastic opportunity for those guys who, sure, yeah, okay. Your spouse is taking care of the major financial things, but this is a point where once you've done your washing, you've got the kids to school, you've cleaned the house, righto, lads, get shit together, get online and make a bit of extra income to support the family.
Yeah.
That's where you can get your power to improve yourself, to get off your ass and do something.
Yeah, yep. And that's a great point. What's the secondary message that we have with that online business? What's in that bottle in front of you?
Better water, better life.
Better water. Hydration. So part of, and something that nutritionists, lots of nutritionists have said, we don't get taught this. Yeah, we talk about eating correctly and eating healthy and stuff like that, but they don't teach the value of hydration.
Yeah,
something that I've shared on a few different videos in my personal page and stuff, but not been able to drink 4 litres on the tractor. Whereas now I can, because I've changed my water. It was simple, right? It was that simple. I changed my water, then I changed my mindset, because 80% of it was the mindset. And I have changed my life so much. Met Murray, started this group. This is not the first group that I've started, but I've been part of heaps of groups and masterminds. You know, the power in that men's group that we have is just amazing. The business wisdom, the life wisdom that we share in that men's chat. When you can work your way through half the micro business conversations that happen in that chat between 1 or 2 people, there's some really big stuff that happens in that chat. So, and that has, how do I say, that's leveled up my power working with those men. So maybe that's probably the real offer that we've got here, you can work with me and Murray. You know where we're at. We're sharing it in these videos. It's full authenticity and honesty. We are, like, I don't think congratulations to Murray. You were so open at the start of this thing today. Like, that share, we got to a place in your mind I don't think you've been for a while. to share that growth, and this is going to end up on YouTube, so millions of people could see that growth and learn from that. And as much as I've shared on different occasions on my growth and my dark and light, there's magic in the whole lot. So creating the choice we started with, the potential it has to change your mindset and your income. We can talk on that later. We've got webinars coming out our backside. If you want to watch a little half an hour thing on how to make money online, believe me, big money comes from big ticket items. High ticket affiliated marketing, that's us. We can share that with you. But the real power is in the 80%. You got 80 and a little bit of 20 over here. The 80% is when we look at what's in your life. What are you doing? What are you going to do to change it? Why do you need to change it? That's probably the key. Okay, where are you at in your life, and then why do you need to change it? That's the two big questions. And then the third question is, what are you going to do to change it?
Yeah.
If you don't like where you're at, what are you going to do to change it? So if you don't know what you're going to do, hit me and Muzz up. We're going to ask the big questions. They're actually dropped in the men's chat this morning and yesterday, like 10 questions, big questions. And if you can answer those questions honestly and openly, you're a free person. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
So I don't know how much more wisdom we can share, Muzz. What do you got?
No, look, I think, I must admit, I'll probably, I'm a bit overwhelmed with power at the moment. But this has been a really, this has been a good discussion. And as you said, it's probably one way or another, it's dragged a few things out of me today. And I feel, between you and I, we've gotten through some good stuff. And I'm hoping that you guys watching this at home can gain something from it too. Because, look, whether it's just through watching this or if you want to hit Stuart and I up to see if we can help you, the either way, what that 80% Stuart's talking about comes back to yourself. We've learned this one way or another. Said Stuart's been consistent in his business. I haven't been so much, but what I have learned already has helped me, and that's been worth anything. And the water that we drink, man, words can't express how cool that awesome hydration can help you.
Changed. Yeah, just making that change it's life-changing, isn't it?
Absolutely. It really is. And it's, so shit, we're kicking goals.
Look, I think it's been a great share today. If it's all right with you, we'll sign off. Because I know we've talked about some awesome trucking people, and you are a pilot, aren't you, Muzz? Right? So
sure am.
We could just about add that in the description. But I'd love to thank, in our group, we have a great collection of people. So love to thank the farmers that make all the food for the world. You guys and girls are bloody awesome. I'd like to thank all the truckies. You guys and girls moving our goods all around Australia and the world are awesome. And I'd personally like to thank every serviceman, past or present, that has ever done anything to protect our country, because essentially that's part of the conversation today, is how much we can protect. What is our offer? Are we protecting ourselves, our house, our country? You guys have given us so much, more than we can ever repay. Thank you, guys. So I reckon we've just dropped so much goodness today. I can't wait to see how this goes on YouTube. If you've got to the end of this video and you haven't picked up on the solution, you have to send us a message to find out the solution, don't you? Because we've dropped
as simple as that.
all
Really.
the golds in here. This has been an absolute gold chat. And I think we're just sharing so much wisdom with the world today. Awesome. Thanks, Muzz.
Oh, thank you, Stuart. And I mean, hopefully you guys can get on and help us as well to keep spreading some wisdom and a bit of love in the world. And don't forget to hit that subscribe and notification bell at the bottom of this video. So
he's got it.
All right. Well, thanks, mate. It's been a wicked day, and I reckon it's been a pretty awesome finish. Well, not quite a finish, but you won't hear any more from me for a while regarding Men's Health Week and our healthy habits. So thanks for your help with that too, mate. It's been wicked.
Mate, it's a team sport. It is.
All right.
We'll sign off. Peace
Leave
and
it
have
at
a good one, people.
Cheers, guys.